Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Our next guest has a guest on his lap.
Yeah, indeed. We asked him to come in, or whether he would come in today, and whether he'd be willing to play the 6-string Nation guitar. His answer was, yeah, I sure will. Barney Bentall joining us. He's got a brand new CD out. It is called The Inside Passage, and he's got the Grand Caribou Opry November 27th at the Colts.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Good.
Really good, thanks.
Congratulations on the new record. Maybe we should talk about that first, because you did it a little differently than you've done some of your past albums, right?
Well, it was just recorded up in Ashcroft with my friend Johnny Ellis, which was great place to make a record. Recorded it fairly quickly, and just had a blast doing it.
Do you have to readjust expectations sort of every time? Because you've done a lot of albums now. You know, do you just sort of, do you let it go, or do you try and go in with a plan, or?
A little bit of a plan, but also be open to what, you know,
whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that one thing I try to comprehend is back in the day, I'll say that, you know, when we were recording for Sony, the days of big recording budgets, I don't know how we took so long to make a record, and how we spent so much money.
Isn't it funny how much
How did we burn
has
through that
changed?
budget?
Like, it's changed
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Is it more fun now that you get to do it in a place that you want to do it? I mean, let's put the money aside for a second,
Yeah,
the big budgets.
you get
but
to
is
make the
it
choices.
better for you as an artist to have it on your own terms?
I think so. I mean, there was a point where there was a fair bit of pressure and, you know, a lot of input from record company management, etc. I'm sort of free from that, which is great. I just can go there and try and make the kind of music that I want to make, and in different locations. But I mean, we used to always do that. We made one of our records we made in Howe Sound on Keats Island, one we made in New Mexico, and this one up in Ashcroft. I kind of like being in different places. Find it easier when I'm away from home, because I love home.
Just to get inspired?
Well, I love home. I think it's just easier for me to focus on the project.
Yeah.
There's day-to-day when you're at home. I mean,
There is
no matter
definitely
if
day-to-day.
you say I'm making a record. Honey, I'm making a record.
It's the
I try that with
elephant
my
in
wife.
the room. We have to talk about the guitar. Of course, we just found out about it with the book 6-String Nation, and you just got it in your hands. How does it
Yeah.
feel to be holding that piece of Canadian history like that?
It feels great. I was, as you mentioned, I was so thrilled when asked to do this, because I've kept tabs on the whole thing, and it's a fascinating project, and I think in some ways it's a very Canadian project, or it strikes me that way. Not, you know, not just in terms of the wood and all the kind of iconic parts that are in it, but just that a person like Joey would do it.
Yeah.
I think
And
it's
pass it around
fantastic.
and play it and let everybody hold it, and
Yeah.
it's not, you know, behind glass where people can't touch
Yes.
it.
And as I think about it too, I mean, as a singer-songwriter, I think you probably travel this country and see different parts of this country more than 95% of the population. I mean, you've been traveling across Canada for most of your adult life.
Yeah, I was. It's funny. You were asking. Fiona was asking about Dustin, and I said he called me yesterday. He's on the road, and he's just about to leave Winnipeg to drive to Toronto. And I mean, sadly, I don't know if it's a good thing or it's a bad thing. You'd probably wake me up anywhere on the Trans-Canada Highway, and I have a pretty good idea where I was. So, yeah, you get to see a lot of the country, and it's sort of an uncertified education that you get. He's out there doing it. You do get to travel, and it's a wonderful country, and so many things that are mentioned and represented in this guitar. You know, you've been there, and you've been able to.
What are you
see
going to
it.
play
met
on
the
it
people.
today?
I'm going to play, I think I'm going to play a song called The Inside Passage, the title track. It was the last song I wrote for the record. I knew I wanted to call this record The Inside Passage, and I hadn't really done that before, because it was a time when my father was getting near the end of his life, but I was also having grandchildren. There was this sort of these cross currents going, and I wanted it to sort of represent, you know, our passage or moving through life. Yeah. So it was I kind of made the whole record, and then I happened to be in this coffee shop in Bragg Creek, Alberta. I mean, it's because it's a very West Coast song, as you'll see when I play it, but I was in this snowy day in this coffee shop in Bragg Creek, Alberta, and the song kind of spilled out there.
That must be nice when that happens. The song just comes to you, it just goes.
It really is. 'Cause
That's never happened to me.
You can almost see the relief on your face when you talk about it. It's just like you start and you go. And,
oh, it's fantastic.
yeah.
I mean, I think you write and you work for those moments,
Yeah.
because it often doesn't happen. But I remember reading, I don't know if you've ever read On the Road by Jack Kerouac,
Yeah.
but the whole description at the beginning where he says, really, it took 2 years to live the book, no writing, and then 2 weeks to write it.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that might be what happens in this song, just that because I think I kept thinking about it, and everything else I was writing for the record was sort of playing into that. So in a way, it was at this moment where, okay,
Just
here
all
it
came
comes.
together.
Well, maybe that's experience, right? Recognition that now's the time to write it, and not 5 or 6 months ago when it was still rattling around your brain a little bit. That you recognize now's the time to sit down and sort of pour it out.
I wish I knew when. I wish I
Better
knew.
be
I was
patient.
trying to make you wise.
I know, and I appreciate it, but it's like I got a song on the radio again now, and I just don't. It's sometimes it's the simplest things, and you tell yourself, okay, be simple, but it's hard to do.
Being
It's a
simple
mystery.
is the most difficult
Yeah.
thing. Well, we're going to hear the tune right now on this guitar. The Inside Passage is the name of the song and the album, which is out right now by, of course, Barney Bentall. Thanks so much, Barney.
Thanks,
Thanks for
Barney.
having
And
me
you've got
here.
the Grand Caribou Opry. I always say it wrong. Who's playing Opry? Sorry, Oprah. Who's playing with you?
Well, I don't know who's going to be playing. It's November 27th.
Yeah.
It's always a mystery. I mean, man, God, last year we had Adam Creek, the gold medal winner. And then we've had Tom Wilson, Kathy Jones. We had Joel Plaskett in Ed Surrey played with us.
Nice.
I don't know, just whoever.
We'll let people know.
I start seeing, at a certain point, I start seeing who's
Mike
around.
and I'll come play for you.
Nice, okay.
Anytime.
Guaranteed.
We're
can.
awesome.
You guys play anything?
No. No.
Not at all.
That's not
And I'm
necessarily a
telling you,
prerequisite.
Barney's going to
You
play
just
for us
got to
right
come
after
up there
the
and look good.
break.
That's all. Yeah.
That- he can do that. Right after this, Barney's going to play a tune. Don't go away.
As a kid I would read of the brave explorers deep and making their way around the world, and then frozen in time at the end of their
Hey, everybody, welcome.
No.
Remember, I was going to
No,
back.
no, because
Stop
I
it.
can't say the word.
Mike, you can't call it the Grand Caribou Opry. Barney
Opry.
Bentall has corrected you every time. It's an opera, Opry.
I know.
Try it. Okay, go.
But it's Oprah.
Try it.
Opry. Barney Bentall is going to be performing a song off his new album, The Inside Passage. He is having the Grand Caribou Opry?
Opry, November 27th
I'm
at
like-
the Culture, if you want to check it out. And he is
do it.
performing on the 6-string Nation guitar right now. He's going to play the title track off this one, The Inside Passage. Here's Barney Bentall.
We would leave before dawn when the seas were calm, make Buccaneer Bay by the early morning. Long summer days, our worry was worlds away on the waters of the Inside Passage. Boys and girls diving for pearls in the womb-like warmth of the water, then forging their love in the coal and the fire, plunging their union, hissing and steaming into the Inside Passage. Love came calling, so quickly falling into each other forever. Immediate and timeless, baptized in the faithless, in the holy waters of the Inside Passage. As a kid I would read of the brave explorers' deeds and making their way around the world, and then frozen in time at the end of their line in the iron grip of the Northwest endless passage. Then reaching their end with no way to send, for a savior to come and free them. They wrote their tones and buried them in cairns of stone, forever to guard the gates of the inside passage. As my father fades out into the light, I wonder if he remembers singing at the wheel as the gulls cried and reeled on the waters of the inside passage. In those long summer days, and when worry was worlds away on the waters of the inside passage.